on, y'all? It's your boy Patrick Michael Strange. I got Heather Vittner Hurt. My man Kaide Kendall, welcome. He's down on the show. Woo! And Matt Glenn Lawrence McDonald. We're here because it's Avengers Assemble time. It's Avengers Infinity War time. And who's seen it? Yeah.
He hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it. So I can't let these guys spoil it for me. I'm gonna head up out of here because
get out of here.
All right.
No.
I'm out of here.
Stumpanoid! Stumpanoid! Ha ha!
Yes!
Assemble!
It's Joe Carabeo!
Hey! Joe Carabeo. So, but listen, we only got 30 minutes and there's so much to get to. All right, so here's the deal. Avengers Infinity War, it's been a culmination of what, 10 years coming?
10 years. 18 movies.
18 movies, 10 years, and now Avengers Infinity War is here. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm not going to spoil. I don't want to spoil it, even though
we're spoiling.
Let's spoil it, man.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Come on. Do not watch this until you have seen the film.
And it's true, they had sex.
And
one thing though, I don't. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it because
You're gonna cry. No, we want those tears, man.
We want the real reactions, bro.
Yeah. Give us the truth.
People died.
And you know what? You want to know? So this is my. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I accidentally gave the biggest spoiler away to everyone because for the last year and a half, I've been like, guys, huge spoiler, everyone dies, and oops, I was right.
Oh my goodness, it was shocking. You know what? Everyone died except for who you thought was gonna die.
50% of people died.
The surprising thing was who actually lived.
Yeah.
See, I think that's on purpose because most of us thought that the new people were going to go away or that the old people were going to die.
Right.
But the old people are still here. So I think
everyone was like, their contracts are almost up, so obviously those are the ones who are going to die.
Yeah. But they were wrong. So here's the deal. Let's just start from the beginning. First things first, we see Thanos wrecking shop, destroying the Asgardian refugee ship.
So it took place right after Thor.
Right after Thor, you just jump right in there. You thought there was going to be like some segue. No, it's just death and decimation, and it starts right out of the gate. One of our favorite is lying on the floor.
Oh, they did horror movie logic on my boy.
Oh my goodness. I'm talking about Heimdall, y'all. Heimdall, first to die. Of course, black guy goes first. They just had to. Nope. Heimdall died first, and I was like, really, guys?
They had to run with the horror movie. Okay, got it.
Right.
You couldn't have had Loki go and then him just to avoid whatever.
No, because you got to build up to Loki. Obviously, in the hierarchy of characters, Loki's more important.
But
what? Yeah.
Idris Elba is more important than everybody ever. Wait.
So there's that.
Stop fan casting Idris Elba as everybody. It's getting boring.
But I'm excited for Idris Elba. I want to see him come back. He can now be another person in the Marvel Universe. He can be reborn. Anyhow, so Thanos comes in, wrecks shop, shows you how powerful he is, and he's like, haha, bitches, I got 2 Infinity Stones.
Destroys Hulk, too.
We ain't even 15 minutes in. And then he beats Hulk's ass. To the point where Hulk is like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. I don't need to come back.
You know, that's
the
gif of the film.
It's the gif of Homer Simpson backing into the bushes is what it is.
It's constantly. And that's the thing. It just became too much after. It's like, got it. You're not coming back. Bye.
I liked it. But I wanted to know why. But I did like the fact that
he got beat up. That's why.
He got his ass whipped. And he's like, yo, I ain't never got my ass whipped like this before.
I just finished fighting a fire demon in the last movie, and now this unwashed grape-looking dude is beating my ass. I'm going to take a break.
And smiling about it.
I mean, Thor got his ass whooped, but he kept on coming at Thanos.
Thor's stupid.
So they have fast forwarding. Did you guys like Thor's little moment where he's like, I've lost everything. Everything I've had, everyone I know. And he's like, no, but it's good. It keeps the fire.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
That's the new Thor style dialogue, you know.
He's like, no, this is really, really sad, but you know what? It keeps me good, keeps me going.
This was a surprising, funny movie too. I really laughed a whole lot.
Thor was like the only good laughable part. That was the weird thing. Is that it's everything. If it kills you, you're you can't do that because it'll kill you only if I'm dead.
Yeah,
that's the point. That's exactly what killing works.
I would say that was my highlight, was the interaction between Star-Lord and Thor. any part of that.
Wait, Star-Lord and Thor had an interaction?
Yeah, remember Pirate Angel?
Oh,
rocking that shit. No, I'm not changing my voice. He's changing my voice. He's doing it.
That was great.
Honestly, and I saw like a meme someone made earlier today where it was like people who were just like based as AF, like basically Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and then people who, you know, really helped out, and then people who kind of helped out, and then for piece of shit, it was just one person, and it was Star-Lord.
Oh, man.
I kind of have to agree, because I kind of hated him in this movie.
So that's fast forwarding to the end.
He is a dick, isn't
he? He was a dick. I thought it was a little odd that he was the one who like couldn't control himself and started hitting. I thought it would have been the perfect.
He got his love.
But I thought it would have been the perfect place to put Drax into that situation, because that's what he always does.
Yeah, like
he always does that where you're like, yo, Drax, chill out. Like
they did that on Nowhere.
Yeah. So I didn't know why they all of a sudden made Star-Lord be the bad guy, where it would have fit and people probably wouldn't have been as mad.
Well, I guess that's the theme of the movie, right? Yeah. The theme of the movie is switching what you think is going to happen.
I suppose. Yeah, I mean,
obviously, there you go.
Here's the thing. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm not going to act like I didn't, but I'm also not going to act like I didn't have problems with it. And I feel like it is one of those things where they took a lot of humor it's not that they used humor, it's where they used it. And it's something that Marvel movies do a lot of, where they'll diffuse a like great dramatic moment and just have like a humorous stinger on it. And that was kind of like the scene between Star-Lord and Gamora, and then you pan over, and then you start to hear Drax in the background eating whatever the hell he's eating.
I mean, that's literally the Joss Whedon template.
That
from everything.
Yeah.
It's like, literally, it's funny how it really is just, this is Joss Whedon, and then let's just write how Joss Whedon does.
And then also,
I feel like there's been a change from Joss Whedon when he had the Avengers to now it's very Russo brothers, so you can kind of see the meld between it. But
and
I
also
think
James Gunn too.
And James Gunn too.
Yeah.
But I think the meld, basically where it all coalesces, is in the humor. Because they all have kind of different styles of how they handle things dramatically and cinematically, and I think the one crossover that they have is like this. The humor tended to be the same, so I actually kind of enjoy that. I felt like they kind of kept with it, and the hardest thing is how do you infuse all of these different movies and their styles into Infinity Wars. I thought that they did a good job of doing that, especially like with the music, and you kind of get that feel.
Well,
and the cinematic look from each of those.
Well, the music especially, because one of the things that... Yeah,
One
one of the things that I really...
I don't want to cut off Joe Caravana.
Yeah, no, one of the things that I really appreciated about this film... Yeah, like, you know, half of the universe at the end of this movie. But, one of the things I really enjoyed about this film was Alan Silvestri coming back to do the score.
Okay.
Like, I felt the absence of his score with Age of Ultron, and even having Danny Elfman come in to do a little bit of support on the score didn't really add much at all, which is a shame because I'm a huge Danny Elfman fan as well. But having Silvestri back was a big high point for me as far as this film, especially when they had the introduction scene of Captain America, Hawkeye, the Falcon, and Black Widow.
So let's fast forward to that, because there's craziness going on. And then we get to Vision and Wanda. They're hanging out. They're kind of chilling by themselves.
Vision makes himself look like a human.
Yeah, they've escaped the world, and now they're laying low and trying to steal some moments.
It feels like, to me, if there was basically like the bitch of the movie, it was Vision. Because like I was like, you would go from this dude being a god, and now he's just getting his ass whooped like all over the place.
You know, there was one point where I was just like, really? Because it was just like, you know, they're talking and then, stabbed. And then you're like, wait a minute, he could face like, yeah, I can't do that now. And it's like, never explained, like, but why? Like, why is that spear so powerful that... And it basically hamstrung him the entire movie.
It's like, you got a gem in your face, dude.
Yeah, but...
they were Harry Pottering the shit out of that. It's, as the stones get closer, oh my forehead! Oh
So,
God!
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
If that was one thing, I was like, if that was the one, I don't know if there's probably more, but Vision, I was like, just watching him, like, I know you can do more than this.
He is an amazing actor, and them literally having him on a gurney for a good portion of the film, it's like...
The entire film. Because when he gets
even
killed,
to the end.
it's at the end, and then he goes again.
It's really, let's just like destroy Vision.
But
the
you
vision
know what?
of Vision.
Vision is super powerful, so I feel like it was one way to kind of balance the amount of power that the villains are facing. So having him injured for that amount of time, it's okay. I would have liked an explanation of like why that staff was so piercing and it caused him not to be able to phase or whatever. And that would have also been a great intro into Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight and all the other
Black Order.
all the other Black Order, because we didn't really get a lot of like, who the hell are you? Except for
Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw was an awesome
They're pointing at me like I'm good with names.
You
Well,
look
no,
like you'd be very good at names.
At a villain? Yeah, I'm a good villain.
No, Ebony Maw.
I've just been calling them,
the Maw.
not even the Maw, just like creepy wrinkled dude, hobgoblin.
No way! You gotta give him a name. He was a great villain.
Shadows of the Colossus character, because Proxima Midnight was probably the weakest CGI character in the film for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just looked like a PS2 cutscene the whole time, which is a shame because I had been joking about Thanos from the trailers, and I still maintain that he looks like an unwashed grape. But there are a lot of scenes in the film where they do get some great close-ups of Thanos, and you see all of the detail in his face, and you do little by little start to see him as a physical character, and
Did
not
you
just
like when he was choking Loki and he made that face like, what's up? What's up? You dying, right? You dying, right?
Well, see, that was one thing that was bugging me. Like, I really enjoyed the film. I definitely walked out, and not even as like a comic book fan. I didn't really walk out like upset as a comic book fan. I walked out, and there was like the breaks in the scenes. There were definitely, when you were going from scene to scene, it hurt. But one thing that you definitely notice is that there was a lot of torso up, because they could not, for some reason, they cannot get Peter in his Iron Spider suit correct. There were times where his head was over here and his body was like over here, and you're like, where is he? Where is that? But you see a lot of that where you saw like face ups and.
What we're gonna do is talk about the villains a little bit. My favorite was Ebony Maw, and if you disagree, I will just say,
I disagree, Matt.
No, Ebony Maw was awesome.
Which one was that?
Ebony Maw was the one who was basically,
telepath.
he was the only one who had something to do in the movie. And all the other ones kind of were just like,
Is he the one who had the alien's death?
Yes, he had the alien's death, which was very, very sad.
I felt so. Every time that boy says something, I feel old. Thank you, Peter.
But yeah, so my favorite, Ebony Maw, and then Thanos, very close second, but I thought Ebony Maw did a great job. And then Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, and what was
the hobgoblin looking one?
the big one.
The
Super
big one?
Giant. Is that what's his name?
I just call him Super Giant.
Is his name Super Giant or what?
Or what happened if Hulk and Abomination made a baby?
Yeah, exactly. So they really didn't do much. I would have liked to see them do more, and I felt like the whole stabby scene with Vision would have been a great point to like introduce like why they're so powerful or what they've got going on that makes them so powerful.
That's one of the things that kind of bothered me about the film is there's like just like across the board inconsistency with the villains and their power sets. Even Thanos, when he like with every Infinity Stone that he acquires, and he's using them to good use for a lot of different scenes, especially the whole thing where half of the Guardians come to nowhere and try and confront him before he gets the Reality Stone from the Collector. And that was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
That was so awesome.
That was great scene.
Because it got me in the moment. I'm like, oh, this is cool, all right. Boom, stabby. And I was like, wait a minute. And then right as I'm thinking, wait a minute, it's just like, no, bitches, I already got it. But it's cool. I'll let you kill me because I feel like you really wanted to kill me, so I'm going to let you kill me.
It's like Ozymandias at the end of Watchmen. It's like, oh, I already got the Infinity Stone 35 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's like, so, and then he
did you guys find it a little bit like sort of challenging just to keep it like fresh, where it's like, okay, now he has to find another one? Because did you feel like, well, he's gonna get him? There's no point in having this movie Unless he's gonna get them all to a
So
certain degree.
the thing about it is, there's in the comics, which I actually did read. One of the few times I did actually have read the comic, which I thought was super cool.
But not when it first came out.
Not when it first came out. Not when it first came out. I
I
can't
read it
remember.
when it first came
All right, thanks for calling me out. I appreciate that. MrJoeCaravale.com.
.com.
Always ready to call you out. But I did read it eventually, not immediately.
That's right.
but
I didn't remember what happened. So it's
Okay. But I mean,
Everyone died. Everyone
that
died.
he's going to get it. But there's so many different characters and there's so many different ways that they could go that I feel like this is the first time in a movie where I actually felt the stakes. You know what I mean? I was like, we don't know what is going to happen because Marvel has actually made a mint. You know what I mean? Out of all of these movies. So if Spider-Man doesn't get another movie, which they probably will because they make a ton of money, but if that doesn't happen, they can work through that. Like, people are going to stick with Marvel. They're going to work through that.
The one biggest issue and the biggest spoiler of anything that we could say, no matter what, is that we know the next 3 years of films. Yeah. That's the biggest issue. We know Spider-Man's coming back because he has to.
But my point is, Marvel's made so much money, they could be like, you know what we're gonna do for the new Spider-Man? It'll be Miles Morales, and you may not like it.
Oh no, I want that.
Right, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is they've made enough money.
That's why they've got the animated movie coming out because they're not going to put it.
But here's what I'm saying is they can actually do things. Like, it would be shocking, but they can do things with their properties that would be like, wow, I can't believe they did that, and he's really dead.
Because the brand sells itself.
The brand sells itself at this point. So, I mean, Sony probably wouldn't do that. Sony probably wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, because they're like,
we're in
this
this
movie.
Yeah,
please see it.
But I feel like the stakes were actually high in this movie because you don't know who's gonna survive.
And also, imagine the
Everyone's
letdown
dying.
if it is a letdown. Imagine if it's not a good movie, you're like, wow, 10 years down the drain.
10 years down the drain and we didn't do it.
What?
I will say this. I still have my tops like Winter Soldier, Civil War fighting at the top, Black Panther right under that.
Well, this is like
there.
a reunion to me. It's like this is like the best.
This
reunion.
is the Fellowship of the Ring. We have to get together so that we can get to a point.
Yeah.
That's what this is to me. And that's the thing. It's when my husband and I, when we were driving out of the theater parking lot, it was like, sorry, but Winter Soldier is still the best film when it comes out. It's still the best film.
I would say film-wise,
film. I'm talking about film. I'm not talking about super.
I feel like Black Panther could give it a run for its money in terms of film-wise. In terms of superhero movie, no, definitely not.
No,
but in terms of when you think of film, you're thinking of themes and.
We're talking about Black Panther.
Yeah,
or
Black
Avengers
Panther.
story?
Yeah, Black Panther and
Winter
Soldier. I think the themes and the tropes that they have
honestly,
in those movies
those were the films that felt like they had the freedom to be off-brand.
Yeah. It was the first Russo brother film.
Yeah, it was the first Russo brother film was Winter Soldier. But those were like that, the first Iron Man. Those were films that, obviously with the first Iron Man, they didn't really know exactly. They had an idea,
right.
They had a plan, but they didn't know what their formula ultimately was going to be. And they worked that out over the next 2 or 3 films. Yeah. So it's no surprise that those are still the films that work. Even the first, I watched a selection of previous films, before going into Infinity War. So I watched the first Iron Man. I even watched Iron Man 2, even though I know a lot of people don't really like it, but that they brought out the suitcase armor, so right there I was already in. And but you get to Captain America, and that's another thing, because one of the biggest surprises that I loved in Infinity War was when Gamora and Thanos go to Vormir, and the keeper of that whole area, who
should have been dead,
presided over. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, fair enough, but it was still nice to see the return of the Red Skull.
Well, but
it wasn't him.
Another thing.
Oh, that's right. It was CGI.
It wasn't even him. Though.
CGI. It was a different voice, at least.
No, it wasn't his voice. It was a different guy.
Yeah, it was a different guy. But he did very close.
What's his face from Walking Dead?
Very close. Very, very close.
I did not know that.
So on Vormir,
but it would have been awesome if it was Death.
We'll fast forward. Here's a thought that I had, right? Because I really enjoyed it. Soulstone happened to be on Vormir, guarded by Red Skull, and Gamora goes with Thanos there to find it. I thought it would have been great if Gamora was the actual Soul Stone. But
She was, though.
But
That's the
I
whole
mean,
point.
she kind of was, but then she wasn't.
Well,
like
when-
he had to kill her. And
but
I
when she
felt like it was-
disappeared, the stone appeared.
That's true.
So
but I just felt like it was very like on the nose that Thanos really cares about her. He's gonna kill her. I was like, it would be cool if Thanos he's like, I know that I'm gonna get all these stones, but I don't want to kill the person that I love most to get the last.
Well,
stone.
remember
Yeah.
he's already given it up once.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, he's already given it up.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. But I mean, it kind of fit in there, but I just would have liked a little bit
And
more.
there's still a lot
it was
of,
actually
like-
inside of her.
Like, there's still, like, a lot of problematic issues with, like, that whole thing between him and Gamora. And, you know, we obviously get the flashback of when he slaughtered half her planet and how he managed to, like, distract her from all of that mayhem and
Here,
genocide
come
going
look
on.
at this. Look at this dagger.
Come
You're,
look at
you're,
this
you're
knife.
totally paying
Don't worry
attention to
about
what's
the-
going on behind you, but
Yes.
look at this pretty thing.
Look,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Don't worry about your mom. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
not dead.
Her
She's
head rolls
definitely
by.
not dead.
Head rolls by. It's
Those-
like,
those-
oh, crap.
But
So I would have liked to also see the affinity for Gamora. Like I would have liked to see her try to fight him or something, because he's like, you're a strong fighter,
Well, that's
but you
why
never
she wanted
see.
him to kill. That's why she wanted Quill to kill her, is because she knows she couldn't.
Yeah.
When it came down to it, she couldn't do anything, and she wouldn't do anything.
But I thought it was really cool too when she actually did get that image of stabbing him, like from the Reality Stone.
He
and
knew that she wanted to kill
and
him.
he's like,
Yeah.
I'll let you kill me. Go ahead. And then she did it, and she broke down crying, like, that's my dad, though. Like, I didn't really want to kill him, but I had to kill him, and
I had to save the universe.
I had to save the universe.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what's good about this movie, though, that I like, is that they give you those moments,
Mhm.
you know, that you expect to have.
Yeah,
and
right.
they take it. They take it away. It's
Yeah.
like, here's happy, now sad.
Now sad.
Well, it's so. Just to speed up just a little bit, I'm gonna literally
Add more luck.
run all the way
Run
to
the
the
light.
end.
Run the light.
I just don't want to be in the. So it's one of those where it's like, yes, we're gonna need Adam. We are gonna need Adam.
I mean, Adam is there. He's in the world.
But he is not going to be introduced. They have said till the next Guardians film, so we will see what happens. But that's why Cat Marvel's.
Yeah. But I need death.
What? Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Go
Hold
ahead.
on. Let me finish. God damn it.
Okay.
All right, going back to death. Going back to death. I kind of felt a little bit taken aback by the fact that he didn't, like, nothing happened to him. Like, I get that he has the time stone, but when he changed history, when Thanos changed history, he had an axe in his chest, and then all of a sudden, poof,
It's gone.
it's
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do?
Well, that was
that was, I mean,
Okay,
that
was
was,
it.
yeah, that one was kind of
But he
odd.
didn't change. He didn't use the time stone when he had the action.
that was the way I was like.
He used the time. He used it when he did the snap is when he had the axe in his chest, but not when he used the time stone was to bring Vision back.
Well, yeah, but that's what because I was like, did you use the time stone to?
But he
kill
wanted.
yourself?
But he wanted to say that badass line though. It's like you should have aimed for the head.
Oh my
Shame
goodness,
for
that was
Yeah.
so good. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
You can't do that moment if the axe is not in you. It's not badass.
Yeah.
But the badass part about that is also I'm wondering what is he about to say? He's like, and then he finally like gets it out like you should have gone to that. I'm like, oh shit!
See, if he went back in time, you wouldn't be able to have that line.
Best line though. Best line. We have been waiting 10 years. We got part of it, but not all of it. Samuel L. Jackson finally got to say, "Motherfucker!"
Oh mother.
Oh, motherfucker!
That was great.
Waited 10 years for that moment.
That should have been
10 years
worth
that
like the one F-bomb that you're allowed to have in a
It's
PG-13
still a
movie.
kid movie. Still a kid
Yeah,
movie.
it's still a kid movie.
But it got this close. He got this close, and I've been waiting 10 years for it. That's all I wanted. I just wanted Samuel L. Jackson to say,
I
"Motherfucker."
think he's been waiting also.
Yeah.
He's like, now these are the only motherfucking movies that I haven't been able to say my line, motherfucker. When the motherfucker am I gonna be able to say it?
It's Samuel L. Jackson. God fucking
Yeah.
damn it.
Then he's like,
Yeah.
"What's up, Quentin?" Okay. First line.
So that was
So
awesome.
much
So wait, did we skip over anything? I love the Spider-Man and Iron Man. All right, so spoiler alert, obviously, if you've been watching, obviously spoilers, but everyone dies, including Spider-Man.
Everyone dies.
That
Everyone dies.
death scene with Spider-Man and Tony Stark, Peter Parker, and Iron Man.
I don't feel well.
Oh my goodness, heart-wrenching.
I would say
Honestly,
I do not.
That one in Groot.
I honestly felt
Groot was,
nothing.
Groot was like, what the
You
fuck?
are inhuman. You are inhuman.
I didn't
You've
cry
been
in this movie.
taken aback by Terrigenesis or something. How could you not? It's a
I'm-
father-son moment.
It's totally. I'm okay with the way they died. I'm okay that all these people died. I'm cool when that happens.
up?
Yeah, but when they disintegrated, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's X-Men 3 or X. What is it? X3 United.
X3. But
No, X2 was X-Men
But
United.
like we're saying in the
X3
comic
was
books,
last.
though, everyone disappears
Everyone
like
disappeared.
that.
Yeah.
That is not appealing visually.
On an
Yeah.
island. In the sky.
You kind of have to sell it visually a little bit more in live action, so I totally understand why they did it, and it definitely has an impact overall. Where you see like. Cap looks over at Bucky and he's disintegrating. Rocket's looking
That
at
hit
Groot,
me. I was
and
like,
he's
oh
disintegrating.
shit, Bucky! Oh shit!
What about T'Challa? T'Challa reaching
Well,
for
yeah, it's like
T'Challa.
T'Challa.
He's the guy who brings tea for craft services.
T'Challa!
But yeah, I mean
It's
that
no
was.
place to die.
I mean, yeah, this was the big one where it's like Black Panther was one of the sudden departed.
Audibly in the theater, black people were like, "Oh hell no!"
I didn't see it in a theater with enough black people, obviously.
There were a couple of what the fuck's going on in the back, but
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like a little like after everything that happened in the film, I was kind of giddy when Star-Lord went. He's just like, oh man.
That was something that my husband was just like, they really got rid of the entire Guardians, and
Except
he
Nebula
for
now.
Rocket
Nebula.
and Nebula.
Nebula she's not technically a Guardian.
Whatever.
She was on the promo posters of it. I count.
Yeah.
Well, but it's I can understand why there's definitely concern about it. I keep walking out.
Yeah, you just sliding
Like,
away.
I don't want to be part of this.
Bye. Anyway,
Who snapped with the Infinity Stones? Because she keeps disappearing.
I mean, it is a challenging movie because you have so many people, so you only really get like 2 lines to get them over.
But I think
everyone's kind of jockeying for position, and there are only certain characters that are definitely getting spotlight.
I mean, Gamora got a hell of a spotlight, guys.
For a movie that has so many people, I think they did a great job of highlighting each of those people. Like you have the Tony Stark fight
got a voice.
at the end.
Everyone
everyone had like a little bit of something to do, except for the 3 villains that we talked about before: Sylvia Slave, Proxima, and you would not even know that they were married. Right,
but doesn't even matter at this point.
It doesn't matter.
They all
but
dead.
I thought
They all
that it
dead.
could have mattered. That as it is, it's a 2.5-hour movie. There
I
might
don't
be
care if
scenes.
2 of these henchmen are married. Fuck them.
But that's the thing,
wait,
though. You
favorite
would like
scene.
Ebony Maw. I kind of cared when he died. Like, oh, that sucks because
Well, that's the thing is he was the
developed a little
he's
bit.
that
He's-
one too.
He's that great character that you always have in like stuff like like a lot of movies where you just kind of have that talking piece, that mouthpiece, who's in service of the main villain, who's like, this is a glorious thing that's happening, going on. And he's speaking in these operatic,
So he's Morgan
tones.
Freeman. He's the voice of God.
Yeah. Or Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Do you guys have
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman. Is
Do you
the
guys
better-
have a favorite
the better
scene?
voice.
Now that you've seen all the movies, do you have one that sticks out?
So you're talking about everything or just
Infinity War.
Infinity, not every movie. But
I was
Infinity
like,
War.
do we have another 5 hours?
Yeah, like I
Infinity
said,
War.
definitely the scene with the intro of Cap, Widow, and Falcon. Like that was just
Badass.
a
Everyone
badass
comes out of
scene.
shadows,
Yeah,
yeah.
everyone's coming out of the shadows.
Where was that, in Ireland? Stockholm? Where was it?
Scotland.
Okay.
Scotland?
Yeah,
Okay.
and everything with Doctor Strange is just great because I went from kind of liking Doctor Strange to really liking Doctor Strange, like that movie, and going back and revisiting it, and just seeing like the purpose of that character be like,
He's being very,
realized
very useful. He's like the most important. He's one of the most important.
Film.
He figures out how to get him. All right, I'll go with my scenes. Obviously, the Captain America appearance, awesome. I have a 1A and 1B. 1A would be when Thor comes back and he's just wrecking fucking shop. All right, hold up, bitches. I'm back with my new hammer. It's a problem.
I got a tree and a talking raccoon. What?
So that was
was
1A.
awesome.
And then my second one was the fight between Thanos and the Guardians with Iron Man and Spider-Man. Especially when
Strange,
Spider-Man was jumping through the portals like, magic! More Magic kick.
It was
great.
basically the equivalent of the spaceship scene in the Lego Movie.
Yeah. I thought the fight scenes were pretty cool.
No, the fight scenes were great.
The fight in the park with Spider-Man where like he has that moment again where the guy's about to punch down on Iron Man, and he's like he captures. He's like, "Wow, what's up?" And then he's like, "What's going on? What do we got here, Mr. Stark?" He's like, "We got a flying wizard. Go get him." Period.
I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, again, I just feel like this made me enjoy Spider-Man that much less. Honestly, just because
you are truly inhuman.
You're the only person,
You're truly inhuman.
Here's the thing.
But isn't that who Spider-Man is?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Because I feel like with the advent of the Ultimate Universe, a lot of people started to really fetishize the idea of Spider-Man as a teenager and hold that up as the ideal, ignoring like the 30, 40 years of history where the most defining moments in that character's history happened after he's done with high school and after he's done with college. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens that defines that character as an adult.
He's beginning.
We don't care about that. We had a reboot.
What is this?
What is
this we?
Marvel Disney had 2 films. Disney has had 2.5 films.
No,
2.5 films.
No, what I'm saying is when you have a character like Spider-Man,
this grows him up.
No, but not
you know
really.
What I mean?
Not
How
really.
does it? Wait, time out.
It doesn't get any bigger of a...
There's a moment...
We're going to have to cut some of this out, guys. We're going to have to cut some of it.
Listen, here's the deal. The thing is, Spider-Man, when he is knighted and Avenger, there's the moment where he has that, like, giddy, childish smile, like, holy shit, I'm an Avenger. And then the realization of, like, oh shit, I'm an Avenger, like... I might die.
And I'm in space.
That grows him up. Like, you can't have old Peter Parker, grown Peter Parker without seeing that genesis of him.
He needs to progress.
Yeah, but I also...
You just want the baby to be grown. Why do you want a grown baby? You can't have a grown baby. It don't come out the womb grown.
But it's the same argument we have when we complain about showing Batman's origin too many times. It's like, when you have certain characters like Batman and Superman and Spider-Man, those are characters that have permeated pop culture to a point where you aren't necessarily... You don't need to be so beholden to the idea of we need to start these characters out at the beginning, and especially with Spider-Man, and especially as many times as they've rebooted him since 2007, it's like there's still people who have fresh memories of the Raimi films.
All right,
so
but
when you
that's
get to
not in this universe. In this universe, you have the introduction of the character
and this continuity of the world,
and the continuity that it works because then you don't have the death scene with Spider-Man being so impactful with Tony Stark because it's like a father figure. Like, he brought this person into the Avengers and he was so like, I don't want to get this person hurt. And then that person is dying in his arms, literally disintegrating.
So was that a favorite moment for you, Heather?
I was going to say, let's cut off. No, you know what my favorite moment was? My very favorite moment was when Rocket turned to Winter Soldier and goes, how much for the gun?
Yep.
And he goes, not for sale. And he goes, how much for the arm?
Yes.
And he goes, not for sale. And you just
he just ignored him.
You just get that arm.
And then Rocket just goes, yeah, I'm getting it.
Getting that arm.
Then different from everything else, I really like seeing Peter Dinklage as like a giant. I like seeing...
Yeah, that was great because I completely...
That's the one part that I think is not great.
The visual is awesome.
His performance is not good. But his presence there and the whole irony of the fact that Peter Dinklage is, he's always going to be that person who's like the smallest actor in the cast, and it was a great idea to say, okay, let's cast Peter Dinklage and have him be the largest person.
He's a
12-foot dwarf.
Equality, man. Equality.
You know, I would
enjoyed the novelty.
For everyone.
But yeah, no.
He's
talking about the fact that I'm a little bit gay, guys.
Oh, okay.
Hey. I think science came out with a study said everyone's a little bit gay.
Science.
So that
is that a character in the next?
So that was my favorite, and also any interaction with Star-Lord and Thor. I was all over
that. Was all great.
And
Because beyond
Drax
that,
he looks like the baby of a pirate and an angel.
This is a
Batista's
man right
just
here.
amazing. That's a man right
Hey,
now.
one of my friends double for Batista. He's Gary Peoples. He's a stuntman who was in the movie. He's actually got a credit in there.
Hi,
There's a
Gary.
picture of it. It's really awesome. Good job, Gary.
I mean, that is the thing. I still love the character of Drax, and Batista just knocks it out of the park every time. It's like it's him, Cena, and The Rock. As far as I'm concerned, is like wrestlers who have transitioned into acting and are really making it work. Like it's not a novelty to see these character
I'm gonna
actors
go ahead and
in the film. They are.
I'm gonna give you the Ebony Moss.
so wrapping it
It's
up.
enough. You're Inhuman. You have upset me so much by saying Spider-Man.
We'll make it better. We'll make it better. We'll split it up. Split it up.
No, but I think we covered everything, right?
All right, yeah, thumbs up. Thumbs up.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I'm thumbsing
I
it up.
enjoyed it.
Oh, that's
I
right.
enjoyed it.
Non-comic book guy. Thumbs up.
Wait,
All right, guys.
what?
Just kidding.
Yo, how's it feel? JoeCarabale.com.
Oh, I've only been writing comics for 10 years. I'm sorry.
You're okay. Non-movie comic book. You said you're not like super excited. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe
because
I'm
that's my gimmick.
oh, got it.
No, but it's true. I wasn't super excited about it because it didn't have X-Men or Fantastic Four. But
Ooh.
maybe it might
Maybe
on fourth
soon.
one.
Maybe
On the
soon.
fourth one.
Okay, guys.
You know, it's still going to take years before that happens, even after.
Spider-Man rules.
Alright,
the deal has to be finalized.
All right.
All right, where can we find you?
So you can find me, GettingMac25 on Instagram. And there's something new that's coming up. I'm going to tell you next time. I swear next time I'll have it. But it'll be something new. Shh.
That's right.
Until then.
Joe Carabale, Google.
Google his face.
Ken KRK on Twitter and on Instagram, and also at Casting the Net Podcast on Instagram. That's my movie podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Check it out.
Sweet. And I'm at Following Films. I'm Heather, guys, on Twitter.
Happy birthday.
Bye. Hey, we loved giving you guys this. So it was more just kind of a like, oh, we loved it.
It's a fun post quo.
Yeah, you guys hopefully you nerded out with us. So much going on.
And I guess now we got to find Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got.
Yeah,
we don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Stunt Pinoy, your job is done here now.
Woo! Thanks, guys. Woo!